Hi, good evening. How are you? I'm Vijay Jha and I welcome you to Gradeup. How are you doing? And how many days are left for your examination? What do I mean by the examination? There is only the examination for you, and that is the Civil Services examination conducted by the Union Public Service Commission. Very good evening. Very good evening. First thing first, what is CSAT and why is it important? Or is it important enough to be discussed in a session? Okay, we all know that Civil Services Aptitude Test is called CSAT. Technically, this is GS paper 2. That is the second paper of your preliminary examination. Isn't that? Okay. This was introduced in the year 2011. Before that, UPSC Civil Service Examination Preliminary had a different pattern. Okay, and it was introduced why? To check the analytical skills, reasoning ability, comprehension, and quantitative aptitude of the CS Civil Services aspirants, of course. All right, but because of a massive movement against it, or I do not know if the movement was massive or not, but it was made to look massive. Okay, 2015 onwards, this was made only a qualifying paper. All right, and many people believe that the pass marks here in CSAT is 66.67. All right, but that is incorrect. That is just 66. Okay. So, of course, I'm sure you all know, all of you are serious aspirants and you know that this paper is of 200 marks, right? And how do you get 200 marks? 80 questions, and each question is worth 2.5 marks. Okay. But now this is qualifying, only qualifying. So you cleared the preliminary examination on the basis of your score in GS paper 1 only. Okay. So is getting 66 a cakewalk in GS paper 2, popularly known as CSAT? Is getting just 33% of 200, which is 66, a cakewalk? Do I need to prepare for it? That depends on many things. And I have a litmus test also for this. I have a litmus test for this. Okay. And what is the litmus test? Please do 3 or 4 previous CSAT papers if you have never seen them. All right. And if in each of those tests you score above 85, if you score above 85, if you score above 100, nothing like that. But even if you score at least 85 in each one of those papers, then my statement is that you do not have to do any preparation whatsoever for it. Okay, just concentrate on GS paper 1 because ultimately that is the paper which will make you qualify and will give you a ticket for the main examination. Right? I do not know why people call the main examination the mains examination. All right. So again, if you get more than 85 in each of the 4 previous papers of CSAT, right, you do not have to prepare for it. Period. Okay. So coming back to the question, is getting 66 always a cakewalk? Depends on many things. Depends on your academic background. Mostly those people who are from mathematics or engineering background, they find it to be very simple. Many people who are from hardcore humanities background, okay, and they somehow believe that being poor at maths, okay, is a virtue. It's difficult for them, is a fact. Okay, we cannot live in, or we should not allow ourselves to live in any denial. Okay, all right. Now, how many days are left for the preliminary examination? How many days are left? This time, your preliminary examination is on 27th of June. You are left with less than 167 days actually. The examination will start early in the morning. Okay, on 27th of June. So basically, you are left with just 166.5 days. Please keep that in mind. All right. And how many days are left for the main examination? This time the main examination would start on 17th of September. So for the main examination also you live with 251 days. Please keep that in mind. All right. Most important, in between the preliminary and the main examination, there are only 84 days. Only 84 days. Okay. And you have to make those 84 days count. I will tell you what typically happens. Let's say today is 27th of June evening. Okay, you appeared for the examination, GS paper 1, okay, and GS paper 2. All right, we all have to assume that this is 27th of June. and you're worried about this. You look at the cutoff marks. You look at the cutoff marks. Okay. The cutoff in paper 1 has been in the range 100 to 120 for a general category candidate. Okay. In GS paper 1, and that is all that matters. Okay. You believe that you are going to score 103. You can never be 100% confident of clearing this paper at 103. And then to add to your troubles, you're not sure whether you're going to score 65 or 67 here. All right. Now, when you're left with just 84 days in between the preliminary and the main examination, and most of the time that is how it is, you do not get more than 12 to 13 weeks. Okay. And immediately after the examination, you're not even sure about this, whether you will get a license to appear for the main examination or not. You think you would be able to fire on all cylinders for the main examination? You think you would have enough motivation to slog and keep slogging? You think so? It's extremely important for any person who has to become a civil servant here in India, right? That you utilize all the time which you get in between the preliminary and the main examination extremely well. If you're not able to do that, it impacts your performance very adversely in the main examination, isn't that? And keeping that in mind, it's not only important to clear the prelims immediately after writing the preliminary. Okay, such thoughts, am I in, am I out, am I in, am I out, am I in, am I out, should not be there in your mind. Okay, you have to clear it, and you have to know on the day of writing the preliminary examination that you're certainly going to clear it. You should take a rest for 2 to 3 days after the preliminary examination. Okay, do whatever you feel like doing, but then at the most rest for 5 days, 6 days, and come back to your study. Come back to your study and start preparing for the main examination, because there's so many things which you need to take care of. There are so many things which you need to take care of when it comes to the main examination. All right. So we have talked about only 2 things thus far. One, the structure of the CSAT, and 2, that not only that you have to clear the preliminary examination, on the day of the preliminary examination, you must know that you're clearing it. And you will get this feeling only if you're scoring above 110, 112 in paper 1 and you're scoring above 75 in paper 2. Okay, because many answers of comprehension questions are extremely debatable. All right, they can go to either sides. More on this. Okay, very soon. All right. Okay, so a few more things. Should it be prepared for at all? I've given you a litmus test. Yes. Appear for 4 previous CSAT papers. In each of those papers, if you get above 85, do not prepare for it. Else, you need to prepare for it. Okay. One more very important thing. Preliminary examination would be conducted on 27th of June. Okay. After which you would be left with just 84 days for the main examination. And the result of this examination would not be out, okay, before the last week of July. Okay. So let's say you're not very sure whether you're going to get the license to appear for the main examination or not. Okay, for some good time, for these 30-40 days. Okay. After these 30-40 days, you would be left with just 40 to 50 days for the main examination. Can you afford to not do your best while waiting for the preliminary result? This is my question to you. Okay. Hi Poonam, good evening. Tikeshwar Das, good evening. All right. Hi Rekha Mathur. Hi Pallavi Prajapati. Okay. Hi all-rounder. You're an all-rounder. So anyway, I do not think that you need to prepare for anything. You would be good at prelims. You would be good at main. You would be good at interviews. Okay. All right. Yes, of course. We have already told you about this. Now keep one thing in mind. You know, in the main examination, you have 2 qualifying papers. One is of English language, and the other can be any of the Indian languages like Hindi, Gujarati, Nepalese, right, Marathi, and whatever. Okay. A few years back, I had filed an RTI. Okay, that what percent of people appearing in the main examination get disqualified. Okay, in language papers. You would be amazed to know. You would be amazed to know that 7 to 8% of the population appearing for the main examination. Okay, fails in the qualifying language papers. People take it for granted, like these days there are two papers, both those papers are of 300 marks. Mind you, these two papers are not of 250 marks, they're of 300 marks, and you have to get just 25% in order to qualify in them. You need to score just 25%. As many as 7 to 8% of the population fails to do that. Okay, I have never filed an RTI about this, that what percentage of population actually fails in the CSAT, but right now I have decided that probably immediately after this session I will file an RTI, and I'm sure that number will also not be less than 15 to 20%. Okay, all right. Okay, Pooja is saying, can you please speak in Hindi? मैं हिंदी में भी बात कर सकता हूं, लेकिन इतने इंग्लिश तो पूजा जी आपको समझ में आनी चाहिए. All right, you have to qualify. You have to qualify in the English language paper in the main examination. So this much of English you should be able to understand, Pooja ji, isn't that? In fact, when you appear for, let's say, your compulsory Indian languages, Hindi, in that Hindi paper also, right, you will have to do some translation from English to Hindi. And in fact, when you appear for the English paper, okay, you have to do some translation from English to Hindi. Okay, so this much of English should be absolutely okay with all of you. इतनी अंग्रेजी तो बिल्कुल ही आनी चाहिए, लेकिन चलिए मैं कोशिश करूंगा कि हिंदी मैं भी बात कर सकूं. ठीक है? All right. Poonam is saying CSAT subject is very hard for students who are from the humanities. We will talk about this, Poonam. Okay, that completely depends on your outlook. But please keep that in mind that a good number of people, okay, fail in seemingly harmless papers also. Okay, all right. So you cannot take it for granted. And anyway, I've given you the litmus test. अब 4 CSAT previous year papers लिख कर देखें, चारों में अगर आपके 85 के ऊपर आ जाते हैं मार्क्स, तो आप बिल्कुल ही तैयारी ना करें. Hardly any chance कि आप एक्चुअल एग्जामिनेशन में, ठीक है, 85 के, आई मीन कम से कम 66 के ऊपर आप ले आओगे, ये गारंटी है. ऑलराइट, ओके. So I've already told you that in between preliminary and the main examination, you do not have to give yourself any reason, okay, for disturbing thoughts. Whether I'm in, whether I'm out, whether I'm in, whether I'm out, you don't have to get into that business. Straight away, you have to get into the business of preparing for the main examination. Okay, बिल्कुल ही वक्त बर्बाद नहीं करना होता है, और इसके लिए CSAT में भी अच्छा करना होता है. All right, comprehension answers can be very, very subjective, very subjective. I'm not trying to scare you. Okay, now especially if you look at CSAT 2020 paper, I'm sure many of you have done it. So you will find it to be a very good paper. It was certainly not a joke to get 66 in this paper. All right, you needed to have some level in order to get even 66 here in this paper. Okay. Poonam is saying CSAT is very hard, sir. No, 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 Poonam. CSAT is not at all hard. You make it hard for yourself. All right. Okay, let's look at certain more facts. What is the least number of correct answers in order to qualify theoretically on the CSAT? Would anyone answer this? What is the least number of correct answers in order to qualify theoretically? Okay, you need to get 33% marks. UPSC says that you need to get 33% marks. If you get 33% of 80, okay, this comes out to be 26.4. All right, that answers this also, that you have to get at least 27 answers correct. But if you have 27 correct answers, number of incorrect answers should be 0. Okay, if you have 27 correct answers, okay, how many incorrect answers can you afford? How many incorrect answers? No, one incorrect answer you can afford. Isn't that? You can afford one incorrect answer. So if you have 27 correct answers, you can afford only one incorrect answer. Okay, but that would be very risky. Just attempting 27, getting all of them right, or attempting 28, getting 27 correct and one incorrect. Isn't that extremely risky? Not many people can be confident of that. Okay, so that is certainly not something which you can afford. Isn't that? So how many questions you need to attempt practically? You certainly cannot attempt just 27 or 28, right? So the question is, how many questions we need to attempt practically? Okay, can we drop doing quantitative aptitude altogether? Okay, just 3-4 minutes back, someone wrote that I'm from humanities and I find this to be very tough. I find CSAT to be very hard. Okay, can we drop mathematics altogether because I'm poor at maths? This is also a valid question. And we need to address this. We would, here in this session only, we will discuss this with some data. Don't you worry. Okay. All right. So, can we drop reasoning section? Can we drop reasoning section? I'm not going to answer any of these questions. I will just give you some supporting data. I will give you some data. All right. Okay. Now, is there a need to attempt all 80? There are 80 questions here. Is there a need to attempt all 80? I say a strict no. Okay. Whether you score 66, whether you score 66 or you score 166, is there any difference as far as getting a ticket for the main examination is concerned? Whether you get 66 or 166, it doesn't make a difference, right? So why should I unnecessarily try to attempt all 80? And anyway, how many minutes do you get in the examination? You get 120 minutes, okay, for these 80 questions. If you try to attempt all 80, time per question is just 1.5 minutes, which is 90 seconds. And mind you, there was a time, okay, there was a period of 4 years when the marks of CSAT would get added. Okay, had it been so, we would have advised you to prepare extremely well and attempt all 80 questions, but that is certainly not the case. If you try to attempt all 80, we at Gradeup believe that you are only impacting your chances adversely. Okay, but we do not say that you attempt just 27, 28, but I believe that do not attempt all 80. Okay, attempt in your senses. Okay, mostly we will show you the trend also. 30 questions of comprehension, okay, 30 questions of comprehension have not less than 20 passages. Like this year also, there were as many as 20 reading comprehension passages. How many? 20. Okay. Now, reading those 20 passages and then answering close to 30 questions on them, I believe doing these 30 questions, okay, takes not less than 50 to 60 minutes. Okay, there may be some champions who are able to do all of them in 40 minutes. I'm not sure. All right, but mostly my observation is that doing 30 questions of comprehension takes around 50 to 60 minutes because you have to read close to 20 passages, then you have to read the questions, you have to read the options as well. So that's a time consuming affair and it does another thing. Okay, this section actually tires you also. You get tired, you feel exhausted after doing 20 passages, even if those passages are very small. Okay, most of these passages are in at the most 100 words. Okay, but just reading 100 words, then reading the question and reading 4 options is a very tiring section. Okay, all right, Shivam, very good evening. Shilpa Kambojji, good evening. Okay, if you're enjoying the session, what stops you from liking it and sharing it with your friends and your foes? Sharing is caring. Okay, now if you attempt 50 questions, we have done some analysis for you. If you attempt just 50 questions, you need to get at least 33 correct. Okay, so if you get 33 correct and 17 incorrect, you will clear the examination. You will just clear the examination. But if you get 32 correct and 18 incorrect, you would not clear it. Okay, so if you attempt just 50, you need to get 33 of your answers right, which means 66% accuracy, which is not very high. 66% accuracy, okay, can be expected. So one of the strategies can be that I can attempt, or I will attempt just 50 questions and will ensure that I get 33 of them right. But then there is a question. The question is that especially in comprehension, in reasoning, you do not have any subjectivity. In quantitative aptitude also, you do not have any subjectivity. Okay, it's very difficult to be 100% confident or even 80% confident of your answers in comprehension section. It's difficult. It's not impossible, but it's difficult. All right. So when mostly people talk about the difficulty level of quantitative aptitude or difficulty level of reasoning, my point is that please look at the difficulty level of the comprehension. Please. In reasoning and quantitative aptitude, you can at least sure about your answers. In comprehension, not that all the questions are like that you cannot be sure about the answer in any of the questions. But in comprehension, out of those 30, there would be 6 or 7 questions in which you cannot be sure about the answer. Please keep that in mind. Shivam is saying, is there any specific book to practice CSAT? We will come to that part, what all you need to do, Shivam. Just don't you worry. Okay? All right. So one of the approaches again can be attempting 50 questions and getting 33 right. Another approach can be attempting 60 questions, right, and getting 36 of them right. This also sounds practical to me. Okay, here what accuracy is expected of you? Just 60% accuracy. Of course, as the number of attempts goes up, the required accuracy will come down. So if you attempt 60 questions, right, and even if 36 are correct and 24 are wrong, you are through. Okay, please keep that in mind. So you can go for this strategy also. All right, what else? Number of questions from English comprehension. Many people believe that they ask you questions from English comprehension. That is incorrect. All 25 to 30 questions of comprehension are given in Hindi as well as English. So this is language comprehension. Okay, if English is a struggle for you, you can read the passages in Hindi. So it's not a question of language. Those people who are going to attempt comprehension in English, okay, they can say that from English comprehension they are going to get 30 questions or 25 questions. Mostly is around 30. Okay, but otherwise जो लोग हिंदी माध्यम के हैं वो तो ये बोल सकते हैं कि नहीं, इंग्लिश के तो क्वेश्चंस आते ही नहीं, ग्रामर नहीं आता, वोकैबुलरी नहीं आती, पैसेजेस भी तो हिंदी में दिए होते हैं. आजकल एक भी ऐसा पैसेज नहीं आता है जिसका हिंदी अनुवाद वहां पे ना हो. ऑलराइट, so keeping that in mind, number of questions from English, 0. Okay, if you want to attempt this in Hindi, please keep that in mind. Okay, Krunal is asking, sir, I want to ask, is there any book needed for CSAT paper? Enough preparation, grade up course and previous paper, is that okay? I believe that is okay. Okay, and I will come to the preparation part and what all material you need to do, Krunal. Okay, that is here in this presentation itself. Okay, Acha, I have taken a session on CSAT and some students have asked me if you get some rough sheets. Okay, so you get the rough sheets, all right, at the end of the booklet. What the booklet, question booklet you get, of course, is an offline paper. The last 4 pages are empty and they can be used for rough sheets, but mostly people do not go to those pages, right? You can do rough work on the questions itself. So do rough work on the question booklet itself. Okay, if you want to get a plain paper with absolutely nothing written over it, you get 4 such pages. Please keep that in mind. And all the questions have the pattern of, for the right answer, plus 2.5, for the wrong answer, minus 2.5 by 3. Okay. Now, mostly you get questions from different areas, reasoning, quantitative aptitude, right, reading comprehension, but it's not that they divide the paper in different sections. Okay, these questions, you will see 5 or 6 questions of reading comprehension, then 3 questions of quantitative aptitude, right? And then maybe 2 questions of reasoning. So these are, I mean, not completely randomly, not that you will get just one passage of RC and followed by some 3 questions of quantitative aptitude and 2 questions of reasoning, but you get questions from all these areas scattered around the paper, scattered throughout the paper. Okay, and by the way, I was talking about the time which reading comprehension passages take, right? So this year in CSAT 2020 also you had as many as 20 passages. There was a particular year in which the number of passages was 28. You had to do 28 passages. Would you believe this? 28 passages. And how many questions did you have on those 28 passages? 29. 28 passages and 29 questions, which means there was only one passage which had 2 questions. The remaining 27 passages had just 1 question each. Okay. All right. So it actually takes time. Pooja Pal is saying, are you sure, sir? Sure. What about Pooja ji? I'm sure about this, that if you actually want to qualify in this examination, you will. That is something which I'm sure about, Pooja. All right. Okay. And all those people who are scared of CSAT, how would you be able to deal with 2 compulsory language papers of the main examination? You will have to do a paper in Indian language and 1 paper in English. And comprehension is there in each one of those papers. Comprehension is there in each one of those papers. What do you have to say to that? In those papers, you need to score just 25%, 75 out of 300, but you need to do that. And 7 to 8% people fail to do that. Maths is only of class 10 level. Why should you be worried? Okay, if for nothing else, for your future generation. Okay, I'm sure most of you, if not already married, would get married at some stage. You would have kids also. Okay, even if they study in very good schools, okay, very well reputed schools, they will have to learn some maths from you. How would you manage that? School level maths. Okay, but at the same time, please do not overdo CSAT also. Ultimately, the fact is that you need to get just 66 out of 200. So do not overdo it, but at the same time, do not take it for granted. Okay, basic numeracy you should be good at. Basic mathematics you should be good at. Okay, there are many different purposes for being good at maths. There can be many different purposes, isn't that? Okay, now I'm throwing some questions which appeared, some CSAT questions which appeared in CSAT 2020. Please try to do them. And all these questions are based on class 6 or class 7 level maths. Okay, on each of the questions, I would be writing, okay, that what is the level of that question. So the level of this question is class 6. Level of this question is class 6. How many integers are there between 1 and 100 which have 4 as a digit but are not divisible by 4? This question appeared in CSAT 2020 and the options are 5, 11, 12, 13. Please give me your answer. Give me your answer. Pooja Pal is saying I study in class 11. Can I still attend this meet? Okay, you mean to say can you still attend this class? Why not? What stops you? Alright, if you're enjoying the session, please do give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Okay. All right. What is the answer to this question? What is the answer to this question? Anyone? Shivam is saying D. Krunal is saying 12. Okay. Shivam is saying 13, but Krunal is saying 12. Let me see. And don't you agree that this question is of class 6 level? Okay. Raja Kumrak is saying 11. So first of all, we have got 3 answers and all those 3 answers are different. It means it's a good question. Okay. All right. Now, let's do it together. Let's do it together. 4 as a digit. Okay. So one such number is 4. Okay. But then 4 is divisible by 4. So 4 does not qualify. Then you have 14. Okay. You have 24. You have 34, 44, 54, 64, 74, 84 and 94. Okay, and then you have all the numbers from 40 to 49, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48 and 49. We want those numbers which have 4 as a digit but are not divisible by 4. So 24 is divisible by 4, take it out. 44 is divisible, 64 is divisible, 84 is divisible. How many numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 numbers from here already. There would be some numbers here as well. Okay, 40 is divisible, 44 is divisible, 49, 48 is divisible. Sorry, this is not divisible. Alright, so you are going to get 7 numbers from here. So 5 plus 7, your answer is 12. So this is the answer, of course. 12 is the answer. Arun Matthew is saying 13. Okay, Arti Sharma is saying C. And yes, 12 is the answer. 12 is the answer. But all of you would definitely say that this was a simple question. And the level is class 6. Trust me, you get many such questions, but you require a bit of practice. This is not difficult. Trust me, this is not difficult. Okay. Alright, Arun Matthew is saying it's like 12 because 100 is not. Why would 100 be included? Why would 100 be included? 100 does not have 4 as any of the digits. And anyway, 100 is divisible by 4. So what is the question of 100 getting included? Okay, so 12 is the answer. Alright. Okay, I will give you a few more questions. Okay, another question from CSAT 2020. What is the largest number among the following? Tell me the largest number among the following and tell me fast. The largest number among the following. Tell me, do it and do it well. All-rounder, Arun Matthew, Arti Sharma, Arun, we have so many A's. Trellen, Sandesh Kumar, okay, Pooja Pal, Raja. Please give me the correct answer to this question and please do not Google. Okay, do not Google. What is the largest number among the following? Who is going to tell me? Let me see who comes with the first correct answer. Arti Sharma is saying D. Last time Arti had said C. This time she thought of giving a different answer, D. Okay. All-rounder is saying C. Kunal. Chomal is saying F. F is none of the options, Kunal. Okay. Ashutosh Sahu is saying B. Pooja Pal is saying A. All-rounder is saying C. Overview status is saying D. Okay. Alright. Let's do it together. And first of all, what is the level of this question? This question is from class 8 level. This question is from class 8 level. Alright. Okay. Okay, let's look at the values. When it comes to the first option, what is this? This is 1 by 2, right, raised to the power minus 6. That is 1 by 2 is 2 to the power minus 1 into minus 6. So that is 2 to the power 6. That is 64. Okay, this is similarly, this is 4. If this ultimately became 2 to the power 6, this will become 4 cube. You do not have to calculate again and again. So this is 64. Now this is 64. This also is 64. So both are equal. It means none of these two can be the answer. Alright, what is this? Similarly, this will be 3 to the power 4. That is 81. And what is this? This is 6 squared. So this is 36. Of course, this is the largest. This is the largest. Okay, so your answer is C. Please. Your answer is C. And let me see how many people got it right. Shivangi, Arun, Kuldeep Rawat are the people who got it right. Arti Sharma is saying, sir, daily CSAT ke practice kaise kare? We'll come to that part. Filhal, you do the practice here. Okay? Alright. Let me put one more question here. This question is also of class 8 level. This is of class 8 level. Trust me. This question is also of class 8 level. Alright. And this is on a very simple concept. Tell me your answer. And tell me your answer very fast. I will do you just 2-3 more questions. Don't you worry. the greatest length x such that 3.5 meter and 3 by 4 meters are integral multiples of x. The greatest length x they wish to know. What's the answer? What is the answer? Not getting the answer. My friend Vasu is also active here. Okay, nice to see you, Vasu. Good evening. Arti Sharma, no matter what I ask you, your answer is always C. Okay. Puran Sinha is saying B. Ashutosh is saying D. Okay. Shivangi Singh Ji is saying D. Alright. You are being asked just one thing. The HCF, the greatest length X, such that 3.5 meters and 8.75 meters are integral multiples of X. Yeah, can't you get the HCF of two fractions? These fractions are 7 by 2. 3 1 by 2 is 7 by 2 and this is 35 by 4. Okay, so how do you get the HCF of the fractions? HCF of the fractions would be the HCF of the numerators. So HCF of the numerators is 7 divided by LCM of the denominators. LCM of the denominators would be what? HCF of the fractions would be HCF of the numerators. So HCF of 7 and 35 is 7 divided by LCM of the denominators. What will be the LCM of 2 and 4? LCM of 2 and 4 would be 4. So your answer is 1, 3 by 4. That is option D. This is your answer. How many of you have got D? How many of you have got D? Okay. So you get mostly questions which are from classes 6, 7 or 8. Trust me, not even 9th and 10th. That does not mean that you do not work on a mathematical skills of classes 9 and 10. By no stretch of imagination, I'm trying to say that. Okay, let me try just 2 more questions on you. Okay, please do this one. I'll give you the options as well. In adult population of a city, 40% men and 30% women are married. Okay, what is the percentage of married adult population if no man marries more than one woman? Okay, so no polygamy here. And no women marries more than one man. No polyandry here either. I'm sure you're aware of polygamy and polyandry terms. And there are no widows and widowers. All right, very good question. This question also appeared in CSAT 2020. Okay, please tell me the answers. Arti Sharma is saying option C and D are the same. No, they are not same. Option C was 1 by 4. Okay, option D was 1 3 by 4. This is 5 by 4, whereas this is 7 by 4, Arti. Okay, so option C and D were certainly not the same. Now you concentrate on the adult population of this city. Okay, and get me the answer. Puran Sinha is saying C, Pooja Pal is saying D. Any other answer? Any other answer? And what is the level of this? This is of level class 8 again, class 7 or class 8. Okay, when you are taught ratios and percentages, please, please, please. Okay? Yes, Arti Sharma. I also talked about the last question. Option C was 1 by 4. Option D was 1 3 by 4. Please concentrate on this question now. Ashutosh Sahu is saying A. Krunal Chomal is saying C. Sandesh Kumar is saying D. Okay, all right, let's do it together. So one thing is for sure. Let's say you have men and then you have women, of course. Look, 40% men and 30% women are married. Okay, it means 40% of men is equivalent to 30% of women, because this is very clearly given that one man will have only one wife, and a lady would have only one husband. Okay, there's an assumption here that all the people get married within the city itself, but since none of the options cannot be determined, you need to certainly assume that. Okay, so men and women. All right, so 40% men should be equal to 30% of women. It means men and women, they need to be in the ratio 3:4. Okay, they need to be in the ratio 3:4. So let's say you have 30 men. You have 30 men and 40 women. And why am I taking 30 and 40? Why not 300 and 400 or 3 or 4 or 3x and 4x? That would not even make a difference. Okay, it's for the ease of my calculation that I'm taking 30 and 40. Right. So how many men are married? 12. 40% of 30 would be 12. You should be able to calculate with this much of comfort for sure. And in women, when it comes to women, 40% of these, 30% of these 40, then of course again has to be 12. So out of 70, how many are married? 12 plus 12, 24. So 24 by 70 is your answer, isn't that? Now 24 by 70 is equivalent to 12 divided by 35. Okay, 12 divided by 35. So in percentage terms, how much would it be? In percentage terms, how much would it be? 12 by 35, so you will do 12 by 35 into 100, isn't that? So that will give you what? That will give you what? I'm not getting any answer from you people. I'm not getting any answer. 24 by 70 into 100 would be what? 5 7 times 20, so you have 240 divided by 7, right? And 240 divided by 7 would be how much? Would be 34 2 by 7%. That's your answer. That is it. Of course. Right? Okay, so how many of you got the right answer? How many of you got the right answer? Now this is the last one. This is the last one. This is of class 10. This is of class 10 level. Okay, get me the answer here. This does not even involve much of calculation. So all these questions have been taken from CSAT 2020 paper. And another litmus test. As I have told you that attempt 4 previous CSAT papers. In each one of them, if you score above 85, okay, then of course you do not need to prepare for it. Similarly here, if you are able to do all these questions, you do not need to prepare for the mathematics part of the CSAT at least. Okay. All right. So here we get the first answer. Kronal is saying C and Shivam is saying A. Okay. Any other answer? Any other answer? All right. Shivam is saying, all router is also saying A. Okay. Okay. Arun Matthew is also saying A. So mostly people are saying A. Aarti Sharma is saying C. Okay, let's look at it. Let's look at it. 10 to the power 0 plus 1 is what? 1 plus 1, 2. Right. 10 to the power 1 plus 1 is how much? Is 11. What is the sum of the digits? 2. 10 square plus 1 is what? 101. All right. What is the sum of the digits? 2. Isn't that? So it means whenever n is 0 or 1 or 2, the sum of the digits of the number is always 2. So it cannot be for n equal to 0 only. Okay, this says that for any positive integer n, but 0 is not a positive integer. So this also is incorrect. For any number n means what? If I put n equal to minus 2, this will not be true. So this also cannot be the answer. For any whole number n, for any whole number n equal to 0, 1, 2. Okay, you needed to be, options have been given, okay, very carefully. There are at least 2 traps here, but you needed to be careful. In which class do you read the concept of, do you study the concept of natural numbers and whole numbers? Class 6, right? So here, I do not think that there's a problem. All right. Okay, so here, of course, again, the answer was B, right? We need to look at a few more things. What are the must-dos? Mind you, all CSAT papers of the period 2011 to 20 are available in public domain. Okay, they are available on Gradeup community as well. I'm sure you're quite active on Gradeup community. Okay, because you get many quizzes, lots of information, previous year papers and whatnot, a good number of classes as well. And the most important thing is you can be on our community, okay, for 0 charges, right? So all these papers are there on our community as well. All right. So 10 CSAT, 10 editions of CSAT have taken place thus far. CSAT 2011 to CSAT 2020. All right. So every year they will give you 80 questions. So 80 into 10, there are 800 questions. Out of those 800 questions, you have to do 768 for the purpose of your CSAT paper. Because 32 out of those 800 questions are not useful for CSAT. But those 32 questions are useful for the fourth paper of GS in the main examination. All right. Keep that in mind. So you have to do each one of the CSAT papers from 2011 to 2020 without any doubt. Okay, Shivam is already a super user. Superb. Great, Shivam. All right. Pooja Pal is saying, can you please send me the previous papers? Be active on our community, Pooja. You will get all those papers right away. Okay, download Gradeup app and be active on our community. All right. Okay. Now, overall, we see that more or less you get 30 questions on comprehension, right? And these 30 questions are based on 22, 27, 28, at times 29 passages. All right. So good number of passages, unfortunately, right? Mathematics, including data interpretation, you get close to 30 questions. Reasoning, you get 20 questions. That is how more or less this is. Now they use many different terms and students get confused. Okay, even the syllabus which they share with you, the official syllabus, okay, that is actually stupid. Take my word for it. Okay, I will tell you why. Why is that stupid? More or less, they give you 30 questions on comprehension. Okay, mathematics and DI 30, reasoning close to 20 questions. That is how this is. Okay. Oh, if you prepare very well for CSAT, what are the byproducts? Anyway, any civil services aspirant has to be very good at GS. Then many people who prepare well for CSAT, and since they are good at GS, they are able to clear all these examinations without much effort. RBI Grade B examination, CB examination, NABARD examination, IRDA examination as well. Okay, there is something common to all these examinations. Can anyone point out that what is common to all these examinations? Can anyone point out and put this here in the chat box, live chat box? What is common to all these examinations? Okay, Ganesh Prasad ji, good evening. Please come for your classes in time on Gradeup app or YouTube. Gradeup is a serious channel. All right. So I asked you a question. What is common to all these examinations? The common thing to all these examinations is, oh, someone is writing also banks QA. Okay. That they are examinations for joining the regulatory bodies, RBI or CB or NABARD or IRDA. They are all regulatory bodies. Okay. All right. Now, quick look at the examination structure. Of course, I've already told you that they ask you 80 questions. All these 80 questions are MCQ, multiple choice questions. Maximum marks 200. So negative marking, 1/3 of the maximum marks allotted to the question. Okay, time duration 2 hours. Type of examination offline, languages English and Hindi. Okay, qualifying marks 66, just 66, nothing else. All right. Okay. Now, what all does the paper include? This is how they give the syllabus, and I was telling you that a good part of it is irrelevant. Comprehension, yes. Interpersonal skills, including communication skills, maybe a question or two. Okay, yes, of course. Decision making and problem solving, they still put that in the syllabus, but trust me, we haven't got a single question from this area after 2014. Not a single question after 2014 from this area. Then why do they put it here? Now, general mental ability, yes. Basic numeracy, of course, yes. Class 10 level. Okay, so classes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, they ask you questions from there. And again, data interpretation also from class 10 level. This is all that they ask. All right. Now, this also is close to 0. Mostly I look at it, I divided it in 3 parts. Comprehension, close to 30 questions. Okay, on an average. We have studied all those 10 papers. Mathematical ability and DI, close to again 30 questions. And reasoning, 20 questions. That is how we look at it. Hi, Jadav Santosh. So, I'm just coming to the books part. All right, if you look at the distribution of CSAT 2020 paper. Okay, so how many questions you got from mental ability? 22. How many questions from arithmetic? 20. All right. Now, comprehension, interpersonal skills, including communication skills, you got 25 questions. Mind you, a major chunk. Basic numeracy, you got 8 questions, and data interpretation, you got 5 questions. That is how it was. And if you look at some different years, okay, we are of course, we have already told you that no questions have been asked from decision making in the CSAT since 2015. This is how the number of questions has been from data interpretation. Year 2014, 6, 2015, 2, 2016 and 17, 0. All of a sudden, 2018, 14 questions. 2019, again 0. But in 2020, they asked you some questions. Right? So you need to be prepared for it. But when it comes to logical reasoning, okay, 23, 18, 21, 22, 22, 18. So more or less, we can say that from logical reasoning, we have got 20 questions. More or less. Because look, there's the line of 20, right? And this graph is more or less around this line. So you get more or less 20 questions from this. Okay, number of questions is not fixed. It's not that you will get exactly 20 questions from reasoning or 30 questions from quantitative aptitude, right? And 30 questions from maths and basic numeracy. Now you look at maths and basic numeracy, right? So there are two exceptions, this 20 and this 18. But otherwise, more or less, the number is 30. Isn't that? The number has been 30. Close to 30 questions have been asked from maths and basic numeracy. Isn't that? Reading comprehension. Okay. Again, I've told you that this is the section, right, with the least amount of standard deviation when it comes to the number of questions. Okay. More or less, they have asked you 30 questions. And this is very important. But in order to do these 30 questions, you need to do some 20 to 27, 28 passages. Do not forget. Okay, do not forget. Jadav Santosh is asking, the marks get added to the total score? No, this is only qualifying. In fact, the entire preliminary examination itself is qualifying. The marks of the preliminary examination are not added anywhere else. Within the preliminary examination, ultimately you are going to qualify on the basis of your score in GS paper 1. All right. Paper 2 is qualifying. If you get anything below 66, you're gone. All right. But if you get 66, at least you are in the race. Okay. So this is necessary but not sufficient. All right. So how to prepare for CSAT? When it comes to comprehension part, trust me, there are only two things which you need to do. Whatever you do for GS, any civil services aspirant does a humongous amount of reading. Civil services aspirants तो बहुत ज़्यादा पढ़ते हैं ना, उनसे ज़्यादा तो कम ही लोग पढ़ते हैं, right? Okay. So anyway, civil services aspirants, they have to do humongous amount of study, reading, right? So that prepares them well for the reading part. But that is just one of the things. You need a good amount of practice as well. You need a good amount of practice as well. I've already suggested all those 10 past year papers plus not less than 3 or 4 mocks. Not less than 3 or 4 mocks for those people who start getting scores above 85 very soon, 85 out of 200. Right? Those people who keep struggling, they probably need to do more mocks. Okay? All right, let's move from here. Now, people were asking that what all needs to be done. So, of course, this is a global. You need to certainly need to do this. Previous papers I've asked you, there are as many as 10 papers. When it comes to maths, your favorite part in maths, NCERT books of classes 6 to 10. NCERT books of classes 6 to 10 or any standard quantitative aptitude book. There is this book by the great R.S. Agrawal, Quantitative Aptitude by R.S. Agrawal. That is sufficient. Any standard book on reasoning, okay, maybe for SSC banking. Now NRA CET is coming, okay, so whatever reasoning you would be doing for that NRA CET, that also should be sufficient for this. All right, so basic reasoning questions, okay, of pre-level of the banking exams, right, or rather closer to what reasoning questions you get in the SSC examinations, that you need to practice, right? So SSC tier 1 examination, SSC, CGL, you can use some questions from there. All right. Okay, Jadhav is saying the Hindu newspaper best for UPSC aspirants. We expect the civil services aspirants to do the Hindu or the Indian Express, or if possible, both for some time, or maybe you can keep changing them. The Hindu for 3 months, then the Indian Express for 3 months, again back to Hindu, again Indian Express, like this. Okay. Indrajit Yadav has given me 2 big red circles. Are you a communist? I'm scared. Is it possible to crack UPSC 2021 if I start from now? Possible, yes. If India could save this test today at Sydney, right, where probably at least 2 or 3 of your batsmen were injured, okay, yes, you can start from now and can still clear it, but then you will have to work extremely hard. You will have to work extremely hard, because I've already told you that how many days are you left with for the main examination. I do not consider preliminary examination a big affair for serious students. All right, but it has to be taken seriously, but it's a non-serious affair in the overall scheme of the examination. The main examination will start from 17th of September. All right, that way you're left with more than 8 months. 8 months and 6 days to be very precise. All right, so there is no reason, if you put some great effort with consistency, all right, you have, and if you exhibit lot of perseverance, there is no reason why you cannot clear it. But of course, it would be difficult for sure. All right, okay. Someone is saying, "Up cutoff bata do please." Cutoff for CSAT, that is just qualifying 66. But otherwise, when it comes to the preliminary examination, okay, GS1 for general category students, the cutoffs are mostly in the range 100 to 120. All right, 100 to 120. Like this year, Gradeup guesses that probably the cutoff for CSP 2020 was around, for a general category student, was again around 98. All right. Okay, let's move from here then. Okay, so this is where I finish my presentation. Okay, if you have questions, some relevant questions, you can ask them. I'm happy to answer. All right. Okay. Shubham is asking, sir, 30 crore per month की salary कैसे मिलेगी? Shubham Maheshwari, I have a suggestion for you. Okay, take out your cycle, go to Mars. All right, from Mars you can go to Mercury as well, and from Mercury you can go to the Sun. All right, you will get this salary. Please do not come for any non-serious idiocy, okay, while attending Gradeup's class. All right, this is a serious channel. Okay, on that note, I wish all the serious aspirants all the best, and I ask idiots not to come to watch our sessions here. We are not for non-serious candidates who want to go to the Mars or the Sun. Thank you. Good night.